Here are my cue cards. Have you ever been picked on or teased or bullied about the clothes you wore at school? Unfortunately, this is an epidemic happening throughout the United States in all school districts. Hi, my name is Kathleen Delmonico, and today I'm going to tell you why school uniforms should be implemented in all school districts across the United States. Why school uniforms, you may ask? Uniforms decrease bullying, make school safer, and produces a positive atmosphere. Bullying is a big problem. According to a study released in October of 2010 by Clemson University, over 500,000 students at over 1,500 schools were asked if they were bullied. Out of those students in grades 3 through 12, 17% of them were bullied more than 2 to 3 times a month. That's broken down into 45% were boys and 40% were girls. They said they were bullied because of looks, hobbies, or what they wore. This problem is widespread. I'm sure you have a story that you could think back to when you were in school about being picked on because of the clothes you wore. Sometimes, having a large family, you end up with hand-me-downs. I know, being the youngest of 6 children, I had hand-me-downs, and I was, of course, picked on because of them. Some parents can't afford school clothes, so they have to buy their kids clothes at the thrift store, which, of course, they're not in style or name brand. Uniforms can be expensive, but a school district in Nevada did a study with 7th and 8th graders who had to wear uniforms. If a family couldn't afford the uniforms for the students were worked at the school to earn their money. The uniforms were relatively cheap, $10 for a shirt, $10 for pants. If they wanted a sweater or sweatshirt, it was an additional $10. School violence is another issue that's plaguing the schools. Fights start over wearing the wrong color or a gang symbol. According to the National School Safety Center, 40,000 students are attacked each year. In that study, they also found that 8,000 teachers were attacked as well. In 2008, the Consortium to Prevent School Violence said that there was no scientific evidence to show that wearing a uniform would reduce school violence. I disagree. If we look back at the study that was done in Nevada, we can see that students, out of the 700 students that participated in the study, discipline was reduced by 102. Inappropriate behavior was reduced by 121. Police log reports was reduced from 200 to 75. Gang-related violence was reduced from 12 to 4. Graffiti was reduced from 20 to 8. And the damage to the school was reduced from 10 to 1. Now, I put that back on because the students, if they couldn't afford the uniforms, they worked at the school. That being said, it helped with having more school pride so they wouldn't damage the school. Besides reducing violence, school uniforms will produce a positive school environment. Uniforms will help shape the students' focus on the tasks at hand. I have to wear a dress code at work. It's not a uniform, but it is a dress code. School uniforms will build a sense of unity. Naysayers think that wearing that will take away from the self-individualisms of the students. And I say no. It's hard enough for students in high school with their self-conscious to look at the clothing and try to fit in. Let's talk about the police, the military, the medical field, the sports teams, they all have to wear uniforms. Their job is to work together, accomplish a goal. It's the same with implementing school uniforms. It will encourage students to work together to accomplish a goal, which is to graduate. What I did was I looked at the schools in our neighborhood, in our area. I took Notre Dame, which has a mandatory uniform, which are blue pants, polo shirts, black or brown shoes with no logo, and the hair color has to be natural. Proctor, they don't have a dress code. They do have a dress code, but it's not a uniform. Basically, when I looked in the school handbook, it just said that the clothes must be safe and appropriate and not offend anyone. And they have to have shoes worn at all times. So then what I did was I looked at the rate of the graduation. Notre Dame was at 100% according to their website. According to niche.com, Proctor was at a 67% rate. Imagine if students at Proctor had the uniforms, I feel that their graduation rate would be higher. In conclusion, the benefits outweigh the detriments of school uniforms, and school uniforms should be a positive solution to curb the violence. We need to make the change now. School uniforms will not help world peace, but it will bring peace to our schools. We need to look at school uniforms not only as a benefit to our students, but as a nation as a whole. If we instill logic and value in our students, they will become productive citizens, which will curb violence when they become adults. Thank you for your time, and I hope I have convinced you that school uniforms are needed in our nation's schools.